Hello. This queen of credit here. I want to dive right into two topics of conversation. Number one, credit and cash flow consulting. My service is what I offer. How to build your credit score and save thousands of dollars. And I'm not just talking about thousands of dollars of refinancing some things once you get a great credit score. I'm talking about restructuring your paycheck through my W-4 wealth training to bring more money home out of your paycheck, right? Restructuring your paycheck is through my W-4 wealth training. It's called income shifting versus budgeting, right? Knowing the difference between income shifting and budgeting. And then the second strategy is if you have a mortgage, how to save thousands of dollars of interest payments and years off your mortgage. I've been making posts how my monthly payment on my mortgage has been reduced by $250 a month. So that's $250 a month of extra cash flow from my biggest bill every month. And so how to use velocity banking if you are a home buyer, whether it's a 15-year or 30-year, how to cash flow more money out of your paycheck through my W-4 wealth strategies, right? Again, if you follow me on either YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, you know that more people, middle class and lower, are paying more in taxes through Trump's new tax laws, right? So how to keep more of your money that you're making and keep more money that you're losing in the form of taxes, right? So did you all know, for example, did you know that an employee is taxed at a higher tax bracket than a business owner? Meaning that if you are an employee, I'm an employee, but I use my W-4 wealth training to restructure it. You're paying anywhere from 30 to 35% of taxes, right? But business owners can pay anywhere from 0 to 15% of taxes. And so, it's all about the money you make, number one, and the money that you're able to keep. The money that you make and about the money that you're able to keep. Now, if you follow me, also, you know that I posted a picture of my 4 vehicles. And, they might be a little old. They're not 2019, but that's fine with me because even a new vehicle depreciates. That's not a good investment, right? Vehicles are not a good investment when you look at it from the perspective that they depreciate in value within a day or days or minutes once you drive it off the lot. So I'm not a person that's very big on having a vehicle note, right? So that's additional cash flow that I save, not having a note. And then once you get a certain credit score, 750 or above, besides learning the velocity banking that I teach, and a thing about velocity banking, it can only be done if you have a credit score, preferably 720 or higher, right? That's my preferred rate, but it can work if you're 680, and you can pay off any mortgage, whether it's a 15-year mortgage, whether it's a 30-year mortgage. You can pay off any mortgage in 5 to 7 years. So how big is that to learn? I didn't learn this or didn't really start applying this until I went through my divorce a year or two ago. And so once I had time to really just focus on my finances without having to have the input of my ex, these are things that I was able to learn to do and to operate on my own. So if you're interested in any credit and cash flow consulting, and let me say this as well, a lot of people ask me, well, I won't say a lot, but a small majority of my clients ask me, when they are in the decision-making process of when they want to enroll in or sign up for my credit consultation services, I get a small percentage of people who would email communication is not enough for them, right? They want to pick up the phone and talk. And so because I am operating a business, there are very little times that you can pick up a phone and call me, right? Because I'm operating a business. Let me give you this scenario. If I pick up the phone and talk to clients who have paid, or potential clients who have paid nothing, that's taking away time from clients that may have paid me $600, $700, $800, or $1,000. So which one of those are going to get more priority? On average, when I used to talk to people on the phone, when they say I just have one question or this is my number, call me, on average that phone call will last 20 to 30 minutes. And my time is too valuable for that. So what I am looking at doing in reconstruction, my business more into an automated process, is that I will have a way that if you need phone consultation or you want a phone conversation, you can pay for that, and then you can go on my website and schedule a time and we'll consultate or conversate that way. If email conversation or communication is not enough for you and you have some questions or detail about the services that's offered, right, through my program. So it's not with me, this is not just credit, right? Credit repair or restoration. These are financial game plans and strategies that I also coach and put in place for people so you can get further, faster financially. This is not, okay, I've repaired your credit and now that's it. You can have a game plan if you want to be a home buyer. And I can, it doesn't matter how long you've been in your home or how recent you've been in the home. It still applies and it still works, right? Pay off your home 5 to 7 years. Get more money out of your paycheck. Get more money back in taxes or pay less in taxes, right? Save that lump sum, save that $1,000. And another way my financial game plan works is that I save people thousands and thousands of dollars from debt collections, right? I've saved I think about $50,000 to people who would have paid debt collectors who did not know that debt collectors are required by law to legally have information in place before they collect a penny from you. So did you all know that? I don't know how many people are live because my phone is coming in and out. But did you know that credit or debt collectors have to have legal documents in place to collect from you? So even if you're watching the replay, I want you to respond with and say, I know, right? Put I know if you already knew that information or I already know that information, or put don't know. Even if you're watching my replay, put I know or comment don't know, right? So if you're on YouTube or this is I upload this on IG, put I know or don't know. Did you know that debt collectors, right, have to have legal documents in place before they are allowed to collect from you? Put comment in the comment section I know or I don't know if you didn't know. So you may be asking, right, well, how can I be summoned to court or subpoenas to court if this is the case and this is the law, right? How can they summons me to court? Well, debt collectors, number one, when they summons to consumers or you to court, then they always usually win on a default, right? They always usually win on the default judgment, meaning people don't show up because they don't know how to handle court. But if you read the bottom, if you read the fine print on any debt collector letter that they send to you, it will tell you at the bottom of the letter, you have to be very careful to understand and apply the language that, number one, this is an attempt to collect the debt from you. It uses the word attempt, right? And you have 30 days to validate the debt. See, I'm driving now, right? And the law states, I'm at a red light. The law states that at any red light, I have to stop. The light just turned green. Green light, now you have the consent permission to go. Just like the law with debt collectors. But if the law is not executed, if you don't know the language, if you don't know the law, if you don't know how to make them validate the debt, then you are going to get to a point that if you don't pay it, they have the right to summons you or subpoena you to court. It is just that simple. So if you don't know the law and you don't know the language of the law, then by hiring me as your credit and cash flow consultant, now you can save yourself thousands and thousands of dollars, right? Of money that you would have paid to a debt collector, right? Because I have a small percentage fee that I use to challenge and dispute, and this is permanent. This is permanent. They will never come back for you after the debt, and it's a permanent solution, because 9 times out of 10, debt collectors only purchase the debt. They never exercise the law in place, and they're very lucrative on it because a small percentage of people don't know that the laws are supposed to be executed. But again, all you have to do is ask them to send you something in writing concerning your allegedly debt, and you will see in writing that it states in the fine print you have 30 days to validate that. That means they're supposed to have the supporting documentation to prove that, number one, you were provided services with the original creditor. Number two, that you agreed to pay for the services provided by the original creditor. And number three, that they have the original signed contract with your wet ink on file to prove that every amount of the debt that they're trying to collect is true and accurate, and you are in fact the person that received these services, that they have no mistaken identity, that you are in fact the person that received these services from the company or the organization that they purchased your debt from. They're supposed to have all of this documentation in place before they're able to collect a dime for you. But if you don't know, ignorance of the law, and as I was saying earlier, if I run one of these lights when it's on red, ignorance of the law will cost me money, right? If the right law enforcement can, it will get me fined. The same way with debt collectors. Ignorance of debt collectors will cause you to pay them, and it will cause you money, right? You run a red light, you're going to get fined. You're going to have to pay a cash apology for ignorance of the law. The same thing happens with debt collectors, and I'm saving people thousands of dollars through these financial strategies and through my credit and cash flow consulting services. So, you know, I say all the time, what they do is not what I do. Thank you for the digital love, because I know I'm driving and I don't know if my phone is going in and out. So your credit is just the foundation for everything. Without good credit, you cannot utilize the velocity, the paying off any mortgage in 5 to 7 years that I teach. Without good credit, you can't get your home mortgage reduced. That's the one thing about a home mortgage versus renting. At least with a home mortgage, you can reduce your monthly payments, right? With renting, that's not in your control. The landlord decides what you rent, and oftentimes they're not reducing your rent, they're increasing the rent, right? With the monthly, with the mortgage, you can reduce your monthly payments. You have something on the mortgage called a PMI, private mortgage insurance. And that insurance, my insurance has dropped, right? Because the amount that I owe on the loan was decreased when I was able to use my credit cards to pay into the balance or the principal balance of my mortgage. And then my escrow was dropped because my credit score was high enough to restructure my homeowner's insurance. Private mortgage insurance and homeowner's insurance are two different types of insurance. Private mortgage insurance is what, if you have an FHA loan, is what they require on the loan. But when my credit score increased, I was able to restructure my homeowner's insurance, which is my own personal insurance on the home, and that saved me $1,000, a little bit over $1,000 more a year. This can only happen people with good credit. So revision your credit, save thousands by allowing me to use my expertise to dispute debt collectors, because that's debt collections and medical collections are usually the number one reason people file bankruptcy, right? It's usually the number one reason people file bankruptcy. It's definitely the number one reason why people get their checks garnished. Debt collections and medical collections, and all of it is illegal. It's illegal. All of it is illegal. So number one, people, it's a lot of women that go out and have babies or whatever. Now they got all these medical expenses sold to a debt collection agency, or you've had some type of, services. Save yourself $1,000. But if you didn't know that debt collectors are supposed to have legal documents in place, please comment did not know, or if you did know, comment did know. And make sure, even if you're watching the replay on this, be active participant so that you can be fully engaged and fully aware of the video. And leave that in the comment sections, and I will leave my information in the comment section on how you can contact me. Also, watch the beginning of this video if you're a person who really reached out to me and say, hey, can I give you a phone call? I'm trying to get all of that automated, but I do operate a business, right? And so if I have a client who's just paid a $25 deposit for a consultation fee, and I have another client that's paid $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 for credit restoration services, I'm not going to take out time to talk on the phone with you, right? Unless it's a paid phone consultation. If we can't communicate by email, and I'm going to have something automated, something put in place so you can understand, or maybe you can schedule a consultation and pay for it all through my website. Another thing, some people are telling me they're not getting an auto response from my emails. Once they'll email me back, did you receive my credit report? Did it upload? I have an auto response set up, but I'm going to work on a different type of automation response, and I'm going to take some days off in July to automate my business so you all can know, yes, I received your credit report. Yes, it's going to take 3 to 5 days for me to give you the consultation. No, it's very unlikely that I will have a phone conversation with you, but you can pay for a phone consultation. Thank you for the digital love. And then, yes, you need to watch this replay about debt collectors, how people save thousands of dollars, how to use your credit if you want to be a home buyer to pay down any mortgage, 15 or 30 year in 5 to 7 years. And also, what else did I discuss in this? I got to give a closing and a recap, right? Also, I gave my financial game plan on how I save $250 on a monthly basis for the lifetime of my mortgage, right? And I also stated that at least with a mortgage, you can decrease your monthly payment, but rent, you have no control over that, right? Even though you had a property taxes, someone told me, they made a statement yesterday, well, you don't want to pay off your house mortgage because you can use it as a tax write-off. And I also help people with W-4 wealth strategies, how to save more money out of their paycheck. If you've been paying attention, the Trump tax laws, taxes, people are paying more out in taxes. And I told that person, I can get tax write-offs for my house whether I'm paying a monthly mortgage on it or not. You can get tax deductions if you are renting, right? You can get tax deduction in your apartment or your condo. You don't even have to be a home buyer. You can write off square footage of your home. There's so many tax deductions that you can do, right, to offset maybe the maintenance costs and the property taxes that you have to pay, so you get that money back from the government. So, hey, I'm signing off. It's time for me to go to the gym, and I'm about to plug into my workout, but that's it. Queen of Credit.